Okay.
Hello, everybody. I am Suzanne Hacker, and I'm your vacation rental business coach with Welcoming Wow. And I am here with Abby or Abigail Johnson, who has a vacation rental, soon to be 2 vacation rentals in Nashville, Tennessee. So, Abby, if you could just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and your rentals, that would be awesome.
Okay, of course. And like we were just talking about before, I'm so sorry I didn't realize this was going to be a video today, but I also followed that up quickly with this is the real life of an Airbnb host. We don't have a lot of time for makeup and to stay all pretty. We are typically running around with no makeup on, our hat and yoga pants and a tank top because we are busy making great things happen, hopefully, and taking care of guests and getting bookings. That's the most important part, right?
Yep.
So I was like, oh my gosh, let me pull over at a little coffee shop here in East Nashville. So there's this really awesome little local coffee spot called Sip here, by the way. And East Nashville is like such a great part, but I digress. So I have an awesome little spot down here in downtown Nashville called Hippie Talk. And I launched it actually just March of this year. But I've been studying short-term rentals while doing mid and long-term rentals from my home that I own in Old Hickory, Tennessee, probably about like 20 minutes away, right around the corner from here near the water on the lake, pretty much. So that is going better than I projected, thankfully. So I have been running around today in the middle of staging my second Airbnb unit in downtown Nashville, just in the building right behind Hippie Talk. And it's really, really exciting. It's going to be a totally different style. It's called Broadway Bliss. And it's going to be more like world traveler with earth elements, all about peace and tranquility. And I'm just excited about like all the things. So yeah, fairly new to the short-term rental world, but learning quickly and learning a lot and staying busy. So
Right. So people will eventually then, if they wanted to, be able to book both of them together technically, and they're so close that if it was a bigger group, it would be awfully convenient for people to do that with both of them.
yep,
So
everybody's happy.
yeah. So when do you think your Broadway Bliss will be live?
Probably the first week of September. It's such a brand new building. It's called Central SoPro they are still waiting on the short-term rental licenses to come through. That's how brand spanking new it is. It's like, oh, so gorgeous. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I'm actually using it's gonna sleep 4 people, but like really, really comfortably. And it's at a penthouse level on the 11th floor. So it's just a stunner of a view.
Girl, that sounds awesome.
I love it. Yay. But let me circle back around to Hippie Talk. I apologize. So Hippie Talk sleeps 6 people really comfortably, even though it's just a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. I've got it set up pretty stinking cute in there. There's 3 twins in the living room that are completely hidden away by this cool like sofa lounge trundle bed thing. You can't even tell. It's not like I'm throwing bunk beds in there or like a whole other bed in there. Like it's just really cleverly disguised, I think. And I have my interior designer to thank for that. She's also a local mural artist here in Nashville, and she hand painted this like stunner of a 70s mural in the living room there. It goes like from the wall across the ceiling and over across to the other side, and it like frames the TV. It's like super dope, one of a kind. It's like the happiest, most fun shit, I've ever seen, and it makes me like just come alive. I love her so much. But yeah, she designed the whole thing too. I just basically gave her the name and the concept, and helped her pick some specifics out. But we're a good team together.
That's awesome. Wonderful. How did you find her when you like started your short-term rental journey and you were going, okay, I might want some help with this? How did you find her?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because this is going to be a fun answer. So I actually used to do music here in another life in Nashville. That's why I moved here originally, right? So, and that's like kind of the whole reason why the Hippie Talk thing came to me. I want to do something different, saying like, here's Nashville, but here it is from like a really true artist, like local point of perspective. So I used to do music, and her wife played on, I'd say like the second EP or something that I did. She played like bass, cello, violin, and a couple like guitar. Like she's a multi-instrumentalist artist, and we've just maintained this beautiful friendship throughout the years. Well, so Natalie is her wife, and I've always loved her style, always loved her decor. She's so fun to follow on Instagram, and I've been like, you know what? We're going to keep in touch. And like one day when I finally decide to do my first Airbnb, I will call on you. And she's like, okay, I'll be ready. And that day finally came this year, and I immediately was like, are you ready? And she's like, I'm so ready for this. So that's
awesome.
like the backstory. Yeah. Yeah.
Fabulous. And what's her name? How would people find her?
She on Instagram is at Natalie Rose Art.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. So if you could turn back the clock and share one piece of advice with you about this vacation rental journey, what would it be? Just one.
Just one. I would say buckle up for the ride. I took a really incredible master course. I'm going to give a shout out to Michael Elefante for what he's taught me. But I will say, like, it's an emotional roller coaster ride. But I would also just tell myself to take a deep breath, take it one thing at a time, and it will all be okay in the end. Sure. It will all be okay. But it's hard. It's harder than I thought. But it's okay because like I've learned, like I said, so much. I continue to learn. I just eat it up like food. I'm the type of person that loves it to step up to a really, really big challenge, right? I don't like staying stagnant. I love to grow. And I want to grow my future. And I just believe in Airbnb and short-term rentals so much. So
yeah. Awesome. Great. So you told us a little bit about the naming, and when you did the name of Hippie Talk, like, did you have people help you, or was that name just kind of like in your head for a while that you wanted to name something that?
I love these questions because I have such fun answers. So I don't know if you can see right now, but I'm wearing like a tank top I got from Boston Marathon when I ran it back in 2013. So
oh my gosh.
All that being said, I love running, and I love running in downtown Nashville. So I had just signed the lease for Hippie Talk, but I didn't have the name yet. I didn't even have the concept yet. And I was like, you know what? Running always helps me like clear my mind. Things just kind of come to me. It's like my church or it's like my spiritual thing. So I go on a run, and I'm running around Nashville, and I was like, how do I say honky tonk without saying honky tonk and do it in like a way that hasn't been done before? Like, something that the locals could appreciate. And I was like, and I got back to my boyfriend's house. He lives downtown, and I was like, babe, what about peace, love, and honky tonks? What about peace, love, and honky tonks? He's like, oh my God, I love it. And I reached out to Natalie, and I was like, Natalie, what do you think about doing like a hippie, like a peace, love, and honky tonks? And she's like, I love it. It's perfect. And then, so I kind of I stuck with that for a few days. And then I started the Instagram, and we started to do little things of here we are at a consignment place, and here we are. So I showed a couple of friends of mine at the gym the Instagram, and they're like, that name is really long. You should really shorten it up. And I was like, they're like, make it something shorter, easy to remember. I was like, Hippie Talk. And that's it. And it stuck. It just stuck from that point forward. And it's just bloomed into the decor and everything, and how much fun. And it just happened. It just deliberately, indeliberately. It was just
the name had its own journey.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. It's always great when, people end up helping you out, because then they're also a little bit personally invested in your journey as well. So your friends are probably like, how's the Airbnb doing? How's Hippie Talk?
Yeah. It's just so fun to say. I love it.
Yeah. So you recently, changed up your social media a little bit with Hippie Talk. Can you tell us a little bit about why? Because I know we talked about that in one of our conversations, but what were you looking for when you were like, you know what, I think I need a little bit more help or somebody to do my social media? What prompted that?
Yeah, I need somebody to do my social media. I don't understand Reels, if I could be totally honest. And I know that's a big tool on socials that people need to know how to utilize to like broaden their audience, and they put it on TikTok and then they do the things. So I was using one girl who's out of town who's also an Airbnb owner, and she was doing all that she could remotely with the videos I was sending her. And I love what she started out with, but I ended up having a friend just come stay with me. She's like, I just want to check it out. And do you have an open night? And I'm trying to like launch a new socials type of thing. And can I just do some reels and do some things? And I was like, sure. So I love like the more like fun hippie flair she's putting on it.
Okay.
She's kind of like launching, so it's a little bit more price friendly for me as a friend right now. And that's what I'm doing right now, which is like I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with socials, but it as long as it comes across as like fun, and I can see that it's getting some attention, which is the whole point of socials, is to like get some more followers and get some more likes and hopefully some bookings that come from it. That's also like the end goal. I don't know if I'm making any sense, because again, like,
no, all good. Are you on Facebook? Is it on Facebook as well, or mainly just Instagram?
Yes. So it automatically shares to the story and the feed. It's all connected. It's like I've got a whole Hippie Talk page, and I already have like a Broadway Bliss and Instagram stuff to connect it.
Perfect. I'll have to make sure and find those and follow them. So do you have a direct booking site yet, or just through Airbnb that people can book your property?
So because of the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm doing rental arbitrage right now. So, so the buildings that I'm doing it through have a very specific partnership with Airbnb. So I have to book through Airbnb. I can't do direct bookings with those particular setups, but the end goal would be definitely to, goodness, they're like honking over here a lot. Sorry. In my house though, so I do long terms on Airbnb in my house, so they can absolutely do direct bookings. I don't have a website set up for that yet, but somebody's trying to buy a poster on eBay. I'm like hustling on so many. Oh my gosh, sorry. It's so funny.
I love it. You're just got all sorts of irons in the fire, don't you?
You have to, yeah.
Right. So tell me a little bit more. When you say you do long-term, you said through Airbnb, can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes. So long-term is pretty much, for those that don't understand, 28 days or more is what I've been taught. So mid, I guess, is what people tend to call like 1 to 3 months or something like that. And then anything more is considered, I guess, long-term. So I started out with the whole journey doing just like students and travel nurses from extra bedrooms in my 3-bedroom house. And I love the women that I've met. Like I've seriously created lifelong friends through the process. I just love it. And then I was like, well, why not open it up to Airbnb and see what happens? So I actually just had a really, really sweet couple leave last week from Pennsylvania. They were in town for their first grandchild, and they were trying to extend direct booking, but they ended up having like an emergency at home and had to leave. So I refunded them. But I mean, I guess I'm just kind of start with Airbnb, and if you like it, you want to stay longer, get off Airbnb and go ahead and we'll just do whatever, they were doing PayPal. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But eventually I'm saving up money through rental arbitrage to buy next. So I would love to learn more about that. And I'm sure that I will, because people love it. It's a win-win for both sides, right? So
yeah. So is Hippie Talk, did you do that through rental arbitrage as well?
Yes, they're both.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So if you want to explain to viewers who may not have ever heard the word rental arbitrage, can you explain to people what that means specifically?
Absolutely. So rental arbitrage is just basically basic. You go into a place, you sign a normal lease, but you're able to, through a special agreement with your landlord that you guys have both come together and done, sign an agreement. Typically, we'll make an amendment to the lease that says you will be allowed to go ahead and utilize Airbnb and sublease it to just like short-term rentals through that agreement that you guys come together with. Not a lot of places do that I've found, unless they have, in Nashville at least here, unless they have like a special agreement. But you can find places, you just have to knock on a lot of doors. That's what I've heard.
Sure.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of cashola off your nightly rate to incentivize the landlords, but I wouldn't like jump to that right away. But I mean, that's what they're doing in these buildings. That's why they have this partnership. They get a decent chunk of the nightly rate that I
Okay. Okay, so you lease it, so you're paying a monthly lease amount, and
Normally.
you're giving them a portion of your earnings, if you will.
Yes, exactly. People, sorry, can you hear all that honking? They're having like some kind of big like Goodwill drive across the street. Anyway.
Love it. So
crazy.
Real life.
Oh, I know. But yeah, but I mean, look, before you ever go in anywhere, I do want to tell people that don't know, make sure the numbers, I'm going inside. Can you hear that? Is it too loud? Okay. Just make sure the numbers make sense is what I was going to say. Make sure, you know, forecasting and analyzing is the most important part that you can do before you ever go in anywhere. And I am like so thankful I was taught how to do that. You know, before I ever went into to do that, so that even with the percentage of the nightly rate that the building gets, even with the rent, even with my investment that I made beforehand, the cash on cash return in the forecast still make really, really good sense. So
awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. Did your muralist friend that helped you with the design, did she also take the photographs, or know a photographer? Did you take the pictures? How did you handle the photographs?
Oh, no. I got a professional photographer here, professional Airbnb photographer. His name is Marty Paoletta. And you know, it's so funny. I didn't even know he did the professional photography for the building that it's in. I had no idea. Oh yeah. So yeah, I got connected with him through Michael Elefante again. He's just a master, man. He's so amazing. He's from here. Good. So yeah, when Marty came down for the photo shoot, he looked up and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's good to see they're still using my pictures." I was like, "What do you mean they're still using your pictures?" I was like, "I hit the jackpot," you know. So he really did a good job.
Great.
Sure.
That's awesome. All right. So did you find your whole legal process in the beginning to be difficult, or is that something that the buildings kind of helped you walk through?
They took care of it all because of the partnership. They took care of getting that short-term rental license for me. And yeah, that's a big hooray. That's because I'm
fabulous. Yeah, great. I know, because it's such a pain, you know, but you got to do it, but it's a pain to make sure you have all your licenses. You got to keep the government happy and stuff like that. So that's great. That's awesome. What is one question that you wish I would have asked you today that I haven't asked you yet?
I guess you could ask me about the financial aspect. How much, or how did I find the finances for?
Sounds good. I don't know. How did you find your financing? How did you either save the money or get the financing, that kind of stuff? Talk numbers.
Let's talk numbers. So
it's like, talk dirty with me. Talk numbers.
Yeah, it's all good. So, I wish I had my laptop with me. I could pull up my cash on cash return. I think so. All right, my initial investment, I'm talking about out the door with, you know, deposits, with furniture, interior design, everything from Hippie Talk. I think it was like 10,500, something like that. A little bit of it was from my own pocket, but I will say like a good chunk of it was on a 0% APR credit card. And I honestly could I probably could have paid everything back within the first 4 months or so. I mean, I could pay it all back right now, but I want to keep liquid cash on hand for emergency. And I know that's all going to be just fine. I've got like 0% APR for a year and a half. Perfect. So I want to hang on to as much liquid cash as I can. Yeah. There's literally, you know, I think there's a stigma around credit cards for people who don't know how to use them, right? They shouldn't be feared as long as you're smart and you understand what you're getting into. you have a game plan to pay it back. You can, you can stick to that timeline. So yeah, I mean, why not put it on a credit card and get some points and cash back? And, it's like you're basically taking a 0% interest loan out for yourself. But I mean, why not? That's how I did it.
Nice. Yeah. I just I'm launching one soon here myself, and it's like, it needed all new appliances. So of course I did that on 0% interest for 3 or 4 years. Why not? And same with the furniture. Was able to do that with a lot of the furniture as well. So I'm with you. I bought mine, so I had to have a, 25% to put down. So that ate a lot into that capital that's, been saved for things like this. But so that was why I'm the same with you. I wanted to keep liquid money liquid so that when there's another opportunity, can take advantage of that. So I'm totally with you on those 0% credit cards. Yeah. If your person is running any Instagram or Facebook ads for you as well, or is it more just the posting and reels and
Yeah, just the posting and reels, but we're fairly new working together right now. So that, one thing at a time. Right now I'm just trying to I'm letting the Hippie Talk just kind of do its thing right now because it's doing pretty dang on well. And I'm trying to focus my energies and my vibes on Broadway Bliss. But that Instagram, what is it? It's B Bliss Nash, but it's like BE Bliss Nash. If you want to get a taste for that whole vibe, which is like totally different, but I'm still in love with it. Of course.
So will you do more?
Oh yeah.
You're like, definitely.
It's not even a question. I mean, my goal is to probably within a year or two be doing this full time, maybe have 1 or 2 more units, but units that I own. And I don't know if I want to do another one in Nashville. I'm thinking like Knoxville or Chattanooga maybe, because they're like not too far away, but I can still I don't know. I feel like Nashville market is pretty saturated right now.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'll keep researching on like AirDNA and reading articles and studying and being a nerding out with data. That's how I roll.
I love it. I love that side. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time today. I know you had to all of a sudden pull over and get this going, but I appreciate your time and I appreciate you being real with everyone too. So it was great having you on and talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Suzanne.
Oh, of
I appreciate it.
Yeah.